Okay, we're going to try out 20 ISOs number 6 in the colors. First thing that we want to do, just like all the other times, is to try to find the dimensions of the ISO first. And this is a methodical process. So if you start looking at all these videos and you're like, Mr. B, you're doing the same thing every single time. The answer is yes. Yes, I am. The whole point is if you have a limited idea of how to do these, or if it's your first time, you need to be able to have a basic game plan to go with at the very beginning. And that's what this is. The basic game plan is to just try to get a feel for what the shape of the object is by getting the dimensions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like it's 9 wide. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 deep. And to get the height, there are 2 squares here and another 3 squares. I'm going to go ahead and put a dashed line out here. So that's going to be a total of 5 high. So we've got a 9 by 5 by 5. And it looks like, I think this time we're going to do a subtractive approach, which means we're going to create the box and then we're just going to make 2 cuts in order to make this completely go through. I see a chamfer on the blue side. That's going to be the right side of the object. The yellow is usually considered the front of the object in all of these cases. So we're going to make a chamfer on the blue side, and then we're going to make a cut just going through the block itself. And after that, we should actually have the shape. We should be able to get this done in just 2 cuts. It looks a little bit more complicated than that, but I think we can do it just fine. Let's go into OnShape and let's make our document. So we're going to go create document, call it 20 ISOs number 6, and then click OK. And we're going to create our sketch from the top. So create a sketch, sketch from the top, make sure we get to our top view, and we're going to make a rectangle. And let's see, let's make it start anywhere that you want to. I usually don't like to start in the origin, I've said that before. Let's see, I think it said it was, go click here, 9 wide and 5 tall. And then click the green checkbox. We'll have a box that looks about like this. Go to the, click on this corner to get to the home view. Now, let's see what we can do. I think it said, let's go back and reference. It was 5 high, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go back in here, and when we extrude, using the extrude button, we're going to click, and we're going to make it 5 inches high. Okay, now to make the cuts, let's see, which cut do we want to make first? I think that we probably want to make the chamfer first, and then after we make the chamfer, we can make the cut go through. And the reason I say that is if you make the cut first, the chamfer will only do one of the sides and you'll have to make 2 different chamfers. So I'm going to try to do the least amount of work possible. Some people call me lazy, but I try to prefer to call it efficient. So we're going to just make the chamfer first, and then after we make the chamfer, we'll make the cut. If you do it the other way around, it's not that big of a deal. You'll be able to do it just fine. Let's get an idea of how far we have to go here. See if we need to do a 2-directional or a 1-directional chamfer. So going down from the entire chamfer, and don't forget to, you're going to have to move across this way. The whole thing is 5 units high, so we're going to have to make a direction of 5 units down, and if I count across, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can just do a 1-directional chamfer. It's 5 by 5, so it'll be even both ways. So let's do that. I'm going to click the chamfer button, and I'm going to click on this side, and I'm going to change my distance to 5, and then I'm going to hit the check mark. And we'll have a nice little chamfer that goes all the way down. To make the cut, we need to find out how big the cut is. So I think the easiest way to see where the actual cut is to just go ahead and just fill in this part right here. This section right here, this is the section that gets cut out, and it's 3 by 3. So you have 2 options here, and in this case, one of them is the right way and one of them is the wrong way. When we go back to OnShape, you could try to start creating your cut on this side, or you could start creating it on the flat side. and you want to pick the flat side because you can get a rectangle and then you can cut out that way. If you try to make your sketch on the diagonal surface, when you make your cut, it's going to want to cut diagonally into the object. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to create a sketch and I'm going to click on this flat side of the object. We're going to make a rectangle at the top corner. Click on the rectangle button and make sure that it matches up. It locks in place and click. Make your rectangle wherever you want to, and then when you click, you can then put in the numbers. So I'm going to type in 3, enter, 3, enter, and that's going to give me my cut that I need to make. Green check mark. Go back to some kind of isometric view, and we're going to extrude, but we don't want to push out, we want to cut in. So instead of selecting add, I'm going to select remove because we're going to be cutting. We could type in an actual distance if we wanted to, but since I'm just cutting out and I want that whole thing gone, I'm just going to take the arrow and drag it out all the way. And that's going to get rid of all of this section right here. Click the green check mark, and this one went kind of quick. So here you have it. This is 20 ISOs, number 6.